wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. Jack, we Ric Flairing on them niggas. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairing, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops, then find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing, sun up, baby.
Yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the SWAC, pull up where you at, no cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts, my advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants are with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty Manny off of the leash, black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walking cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What What is going on, everybody? I am back for the third time. Hey, they said the third time's a charm. I've been married twice. They said the third time's a charm. Just saying. That's what they tell me. That's what they tell me. All right. So listen, I'm back back again. I don't know why I do that to myself. I'm back again. Hey, listen. Hit the like button. Wipe your feet when you come into the house. All right. Wipe your feet. Wipe your feet. All right. Listen, you already know what it is. It's the Afterglow show. Me, Mr. Kofi. And, before I bring up Mr. Kofi, I got to pay some bills. All right. I pay some bills. I got kids. All right. I got kids. So Off Script membership is available. Make sure you hit that join button in the link. 3 tiers. Doesn't matter what tier you are. Everything helps the channel. Everything helps the growth. And I appreciate that. Next up, the podcast. He dropped off. I'm doing it. Okay. I'm doing it. I'm slowly adding it on. All right. Slowly but surely, we getting this thing going. We're rolling. All right. So I'm gonna have to, I'm getting it straight. I'm getting it all together. I told you I added the Sunday service to it. All right. So make sure you guys go tune into that. Make sure you leave a review. I can't say it enough. Make sure you leave a review, okay? And make sure you like the stream. It's just that easy, all right? Appreciate you guys. And Mr. Kofi just dropped off, so I'm going to wait for him to get back on here. Let me get some of these comments going. What's up, Miss Glenn? How you doing? Appreciate you for tuning in. All right, Booney Mitchell, shout out to you. Let's see. Well, Luke Walker, of course, Texas Southern fans only show up when the basketball starts. Hey, they look a little good. They look better. You see the Texas Southern in the back. You see the Texas Southern in the back. All right. How many does TSU have across all sports? I didn't. I was shocked. I haven't seen it all before. Unfortunately. Let me see. Dion still assaulted. Probably. All right. Let me see what else. Who else I got up in here? Let me say this before I wait for Mr. Kofi to jump back on here, right? Let me say this. Hold on, let me go to my Facebook. He might be trying to message me. All right, so let me say this. I watched the Battle of the Bands, right? I watched the Battle of the Bands, and it was great. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. All right, real quick. I'm stalling, but I'm serious though at the same time. Watch the Battle of the Bands. Let me say this, and I meant to say this in my Baller Awards. Grambling, your DJ or whoever the MC is, awesome. A1. Okay, he is A1 top quality. Southern. You need to find a new one. He's whack. He's horrible. He's not. He don't bring no energy, no type of life, no type of energy. So Grambling, world fame. I like your DJ. I like him. All right, now we getting up. Let's get it going. What's going on, Mr. Kofi? Talk to me.
What's up, my brother, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear.
Can you see me?
I can see you, but you got like this little dramatic shadow going. Half of your face is like real, like Two-Face.
Like Two-Face?
Yeah.
All right, give me 1 second.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Better?
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
Yeah. That's
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it seemed like you were still kind of crying of the game. Like you had this sadness on one side of your face.
We on to the next one.
Yeah, yes. I think you FAMU fans, y'all must have like an anonymous group that y'all all say the same thing because Mr. Campbell be on that same foolishness.
I mean, what you gonna do? You got your ass whooped. I mean, what you gonna do? You can't sit there and you can wallow in it, or you can be like a champ and say, you know what, we got an ass whooped. Let's look at why we got an ass whooped. And basically, we didn't run the ball. We made the same dumb special teams issues that have been going there all year, and that's the ball game. I think if the special teams issues gave Selah, as I'm gonna say them, Selah, 14 points. You take that away, that's 24-14. As opposed to 38-14. Then, of course, again, Bishop only had 9 carries. McLeod had 4 carries. Jennings had
You
one
jumping
carry.
the gun. You jumping the gun. You jumping the gun. We gonna get there. You jumping the gun though.
I mean, bruh.
Listen. I know you've been waiting. I know you've been waiting to get this off your chest. But this, you should have told Willie Simmons to coach off his chest. That's what he should have got. All the
we talked about this last week, though. We
saying.
talked about this last week on the show. They wasn't watching the show. We talked about it on both shows. We talked about it on this show. We talked about it on the ONG Strike Zone. We
know they watched that. We know they might not watch this, but I know for a fact they watched that ONG Strike show.
And
I know for a fact.
You know, and we talked to Coach Simmons, you know what I'm saying? We had him on the show. It was just like, you know, but people don't understand. Playoff ball is ball, but it's different. From the standpoint of every play matters. And your mental approach, the pressure of it all, just sometimes it gets, you know, if you haven't been there, it can mess you up. I remember when Coach Joe got us in the playoffs. And the first year we played Troy State, they beat us by like 3 or 4 points. But the next year we went up to Statesboro, Georgia. Do you know that? I mean, the opening kickoff, Georgia Southern's kickoff team came and smashed our guys in the mouth. Old team, I mean, they got a fumble recovery for a touchdown, so it's 7-0. We threw old teammate came back out. It was a pick 6 for it. So before we even get started good, it's 14-0. Before the first quarter was over, it was 35-0. Now, we did mount a comeback, and it was 35-30 going into the fourth, and Georgia Southern was able to close out the game. But it's like, man, you got to understand how to get it done. And then year 3, we were able to beat Troy State. We lost in the semis, but you know, that playoff experience is necessary if you're going to grow your program, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, we'll get there. You know, I mean, I would love for Coach Willie Simmons to come on my program. I would love to ask him some questions.
He's a good guy.
I'm not saying definitely not saying. No, I think
he's open to that. He's a stand-up guy. Let me tell you, he's a stand-up guy, and he took the blame. After the game, he took the blame. He's like, you know,
no choice to.
I mean, he took the blame. That wasn't on our guys. I mean, my man McKay had 40 attempts. That's like way out of our wheelhouse of what this team is supposed to do. Now, I do think that McKay has the ability to grow into a better QB. Just right now, our bread and butter this year was centered around our running attack, and we just got away from that. I don't know why, you know, but that's a question I have to ask him at another.
Yeah. Go ahead and get him on the ONG, you know, and then just like surprise me in, you know what I'm saying?
At FAMU, listen, at FAMU, when we love you, our coaches, we don't call you coach, we call you coach. Coach. CORCH. Coach. So Coach Joe is not known as just Coach Joe, it's Coach Joe.
I ain't got time for all that.
It's country, man, but that's what we do. I'm just letting you know. So
all right, okay. Real estate agent gets the Alabama State job. What is your opinion, Mr. Kofi? Talk to me. You know everybody. Did you know him? Did you know him when he got the job? Did you know? Did you have to look him up, or did you know?
I knew who he was because I'm a football fan.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And in the 90s, he played for Markham, Coach Markham. So I was in the band during that time. And so he was a dynamic football player for Alabama State University. Mm-hmm. And but outside of that, you know, I know he went to the Titans, and, you know, just, you know, your HBCU players that make it to the NFL, especially during the time when you're in school. I was still disappointed that they hired him, because I was aware of who else was available. And, you know, just the process within itself, I'm curious as to how this process went. You know, because Donald Hill Ely,
you talking about these guys? You talking about these guys? You talking about all these guys?
Donald Hill Ely, yes.
Oh,
Donald Hill Ely is not, quote unquote, necessarily championship, but he took a program that Brian Jenkins had, and he was able to methodically get them somewhere. So if I'm going to fire him mid-season, I need to get somebody in my program that has either championship experience, been there, or somebody that I know beyond the shadow of a doubt is going to elevate my program. That's not Eddie Robinson right off the bat. Now, he might mature, but the thing is, I don't think people getting it, and this is what I don't get with Alabama State. You're in the freaking SWAC East. So that means you got to beat Dion, you got to beat FAMU and Willie Simmons, you got to beat your arch rival Cornell Maynard. You got to beat those three to even sniff at the championship. And now you got to beat Valley, who's coming up out of the ranks. And Cookman will not be down for freaking ever. So it's a tough division. Plus, whoever else you got to face on the west side. So you got to have somebody in there that's familiar with competition, that's going to rally your fan base, that's going to cause them to give, that's going to energize your fan base and get them to believe. Not only that, besides your X's and O's, you need Jimmy and Joe's. And I'm not convinced that this young generation really, quote unquote, knows who Eddie Robinson is. Now, I might be wrong, but you know, if I ask the average Blow Joe and say Eddie Robinson, immediately people are going to think about the coach Eddie Robinson. And everybody's like, that he dead, right?
I'm sorry. That's not funny. That's not true. It's not funny, but it's funny. I'm sorry.
Who did they hire? Did they? I thought he died.
It's not funny, but it's funny.
And they're doing that Mary McLeod Bethune thing that Bethune-Cookman's band did at the Classic and bringing him back on the screen and having him to speak some words. Like, what is that? You know, so I didn't get, you know, if I got Rod Woodson, man, one of the best of all times, you know, I got darn Kevin Sumlin. Now, that's the dude just for me. They calling you and telling you that they're interested.
Yeah.
Now, as an alum, Hugh Jackson, who's already at an HBCU, who knows how this process is going to go, he calls you and you sat up there and was like, no, we're going to go with our homeboy. We're going with our homeboy. Jerry Mack calls you, bruh. Jerry Mack, who also, by the way, we're going to get to Southern, has inquired about the Southern University job. All right? So if Southern doesn't blow this thing out the park, and I'm already on top of Alabama State, I'm just sitting up there like, bruh, this is bigger. Your hire is huge. Not just for you, it's huge for the culture because Alabama State has a huge fan base. And when they're packed in there, that's revenue, not just for Bama State, but for the rest of the SWAC.
Yeah.
And when they're winning and beating your Kennesaw States, who you schedule regularly, who you got Troy in your same state, who you schedule, and you got to beat them eventually, or people just going to be looking at you like you just don't know what you're doing. Now, that being said, Robinson wasn't a popular hire, in my opinion. He wasn't a popular hire, but he's gonna have to blow it out of the park, or I'm looking at him and the Bama State administration like, y'all ninjas have messed this up again, and I'm sick of that nepotism at our HBCUs. It's literally got to stop.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Kofi. This is one thing, and I've had a couple callers call in. What is success for Alabama State?
Bama State is supposed to be competing for freaking championships. That's the reality. Now, FAMU, Jackson State competing for championships. I would elevate Alabama State over A&M in terms of expectations, in terms of tradition, in terms of productivity. But right now, they could be fifth in the SWAC East.
And
that's the reality.
So you got FAM, Jackson State, Alabama A&M. Who else you putting over top of
Valley, Cookman.
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one.
Look, now the other reality is Bama State had a young team.
Yeah.
And all of them pretty much are like coming back. But if you don't have a quarterback to run your system, you don't get a solid offensive coordinator. Their defense wasn't quote unquote bad, but they got shut out in Tallahassee. It was 28-0. Jackson State, it was not a close game. And even when we played them in Montgomery, Jackson State's bringing a ton of fans. FAMU's bringing a ton of fans. It's going to feel like a classic environment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if, you know what I'm saying, that home field advantage is going to necessarily mean a whole lot, because it's going to be a ton of, just Jackson State and Bama people, Bama State people, Jackson State people, and FAMU people in the building.
I just feel like, okay, to me,
Bama State's supposed to be competing for championships. They've invested too much money in that state.
And I don't think this hire doesn't tell me that's what you want to do. That's what it tells me in my head.
But they fire somebody every 2 years. They're trying to hire. I remember even back in the day when Billy Joe was at FAMU, they came after Billy Joe to try to hire him away from FAMU, and he didn't leave. But my point is, they want to win. I know they want to win. They got a nice, fat Adidas contract. They wouldn't have built that stadium the way that they built it with all those great facilities that they have there at Bama State if the expectation were not at a championship level. Then you fire your coach mid-season. That tells me that you're not satisfied with where you are, that you're trying to go to the next level, and you come out and you hire a real estate agent. It does not make any sense to me.
It does not. And to me, if you're having championship aspirations, why not go find a coach that has built a championship team? Why not go find a coach that has competed for championships? Why not go out and find a coach that you feel can invigorate your program?
Your high school players. I mean,
yes.
High school players who are looking for opportunity to make it to that next level. Alabama is a football state. Now, the good thing about where he is that Alabama is a football state. I mean, in terms of support, I may put them number one, even over Florida, from a support standpoint and how that state feels about freaking football.
Yeah.
Like Florida, we get into it. We're going to attend the games. We're going to, but at the same time, we can go to the beach. We can go to the club. We're going to go to the outlets, go shopping. Ain't nothing in Alabama for people to necessarily just get all excited about that like that. So football is it. The state rallies around it. That you either stand Roll Tide or War Eagle. It's that serious. And that's with the HBCUs too. People that live around there, black, white, Asian, whatever. People saying Roll Tide, whatever they doing, they making it happen from the expectation through the roof. So you've got a ton of high school talent that's right there in that state, but you got to make the conversion. So, you still competing against Dion, because your top players, if they got any type of stars by their name, the top coaches don't go out.
They're looking at Jackson State, and Jackson State's probably looking at them. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Okay, so next up with these next two coaching hires, right? You got Southern and Grambling. I broke a story earlier today that officially.
You better break the story. You better break.
Unofficially, listen, you know what I'm saying? I don't like to step my foot out there too much. So I just say unofficially, officially. I got a couple words that the deal is done on the back end. So Coach Dooley is Southern's new head coach. I'm not a big fan of that at all, because
I'm not either.
I don't know what do you, if this is the dumb stuff, and now I was getting, it's the frustration is about to overflow for me. This is the dumb stuff I talk about. You go on the record saying, we're going to break the bank and we're willing to spend $400,000, and you go get Eric Dooley,
bruh. But see, again, the problem that people are going to have, and the problem that Jaguar Nation is going to have, all right? Ed Reed has made it known that he's open. He inquired about it last time. Deion Sanders has openly stated that Ray Lewis is interested in coaching. Hugh Jackson, if he reached out for Bama State, God knows I know that he reached out for Southern. He had to have, because it's a higher paying gig, and the fan base is hungry for a champion, and they will get behind you, 100%. And, so to go to Dooley, who I do respect, okay, I just have to look at him like, y'all fired, y'all sitting up there with the interim, and this man has lost his last 3 games. And what kind of momentum are you going to generate? Let Jackson State blow this team out and let them make that announcement. And now I'm really like,
wow, come on.
Why did you hire this dude?
With one,
why
you're basing it on 1 year.
Dooley? Why? You had so many other options. Jerry Mack, I know for a fact, called Southern University and inquired about that gig. So now I love Pete Richardson. I love our old heads. Pete Richardson's voice has weight. However, if Jerry Mack freaking calls and says, I'm interested in the gig, this is the second time that he's done that. I'm hiring Jerry Mack because Jerry Mack has tangible championships. He knows the SWAC. He knows Southern University's tradition. He's an excellent coach.
This is my
excellent coach. Like, I don't get it.
This is why right here. This is the dumb shit people say all the time on this channel. But he never loses to Grambling.
Okay, so if Grambling goes, but if Grambling goes and gets Hugh Jackson or they get Rod Woodson, and Rod Woodson comes in there and galvanizes that program and gets your 4- and 5-star athletes, that shit's gonna change. That's gonna change.
If that's what all
and they lost this year.
But if this is all you care about, if this is all you want to talk about, then you're always going to be at the, I don't listen. And I know, listen, Grambling, Southern fans or whatever. First of all, you haven't won a SWAC championship since what, 2013, 2011, 2012, whatever, when Odins first took over as an interim. Okay, whatever. And all you care about is beating Grambling. That's how you get the dumb stuff of y'all stepping out your conference and getting your ass mollywop. Because all you care about is having enough talent and enough coaching to beat the person down the street. Oh, as long as we beat Grambling, it's all good with me. As long as we do this, it's all good with me. I don't care if we go. It sounds so dumb. I mean, it does. It's so frustrating to hear.
But that's not. Now, I know for a fact that's not Jaguar Nation's expectations. They have championship aspirations. They're used to going at least to the championship game. Now, they haven't hosted it yet, but they want to win. I know they want to win. And they got a whole $800 million capital campaign that they're looking to totally transform the whole university, along with the athletic department. That includes expansion of the stadium. That includes your field house facilities, all of that stuff. They're looking to transform and send Southern to the next level. And I respect Dooley. I think he's done a phenomenal job at Prairie View till the last 3 games. And I'm sitting up there like, why is Prairie View playing so bad? Like, what is it that's going on? And really, they should have lost to Cookman. All right. So I'm not getting it. To win in this day and age, especially now with Dion in your conference, you have got to recruit, and you got to recruit well. I mean, well. You got to be a conduit. You got to be a salesperson with your fan base. Your fan base has got to believe that you are the freaking guy. They got to just feel good about it. And this guy, let Jackson State beat this team 35-3, 35-7, 40 to whatever. And he's like announced as the head coach. I'm sitting up there like, okay, so you've lost to Alcorn. You done sat up there and scheduled Texas A&M at the end. Y'all, we knew you weren't going to win that. Then you lost the Valley. Okay, so that's 3 in a row. Then you went to the championship game with all 5 of them fans at Prairie View. And y'all got mollywopped by Jackson State in Jackson. And this is the guy that you're hiring. And you're confident that he's going to take your program to places where it hasn't been before. That's your dude. I respect old coaches until they don't really necessarily make sense. I'm not going to honor what you say. I don't care who you are, if what you're saying doesn't make sense. If Rod Woodson comes in and says, I want to coach that team, I'm bringing resources, here's my staff, this is what I'm going to do. Hugh Jackson, who's a quarterback whisperer, comes to me and says, I want to coach your team, I have resources, I'm ready to take Jaguar Nation, I'm ready to take this program to the next level. He calls you and you just sit up there like a knot on the log and you what? Show me. I'm not getting it right now. I'm not getting it right now.
What I hear from people that I know from Southern is that this is all you hear. You gonna hear two things. Oh, Coach Dooley's such a great guy. Coach Dooley is such a great guy. Oh man.
What makes that matchup great? What makes the matchup great? He's got to be the one
because he recruits. They say he recruits Louisiana really well. That's all they're gonna say. Anybody on here will be lying to you if all they're gonna say is, I promise you, Kofi, all they're gonna say is this. Well, he can recruit Louisiana. He can recruit Baton Rouge. He knows everything about Baton Rouge. He knows everything about New Orleans. He's from the area. That's all they're gonna tell you. That's it. But if you get somebody, listen. If you get somebody who's exciting, if you get somebody who can recruit and knows how to get recruiters, anybody can truly recruit. But if you get somebody with a name, people going to come to them. I ain't got to go to you. People going to come to me.
Hugh Jackson has an amazing personality. He'd fit right in with Jaguar Nation. That would have been a good combo. But hey, who am I? And Lord knows, Kevin Sumlin is interested for the Southern University position as well. And you're telling me that Dooley is your dude over Kevin Sumlin. This guy Sumlin beat Nick Saban in Tuscaloosa. Beat him. And you're telling me that Dooley is your dude over Kevin Sumlin, who's already done it, who's already seen what it takes to run a world-class program, who knows Houston, and because the kids have seen him on the highest stage, it wouldn't be nothing for him to go into New Orleans or go into these people's houses. Now, I do hear that Sumlin's got some quote-unquote issues, but I haven't seen it. The Texas A&M team looked pretty black to me. I would like to know what happened with him and Kyler Murray because, he was at Texas A&M before he went to Oklahoma. So I would be curious to find out what happened with that. But other than that, Sumlin still is, to me, a much better choice than Dooley right off rip.
Somebody says, off script, answer this. 2 or 3 years ago, these same coach candidates would laugh in your face, asking them to come to an HBCU. Some people remember that. I don't give a damn what you remember.
Kill all that pride.
Come on, man. I don't give a damn what you remember.
Pride cometh before a fall.
I don't care what you remember.
So you're going to let him go to your rival school.
Come on, man.
And beat you for the next 10 years. Well, we didn't hire him because that ninja came up in here talking that bull and, was all arrogant and just sat up there and acted like he was better than everybody. Well, guess what? He didn't whip y'all ass for the last 7 years. So what you got to say now? Listen, I'm all for, I would say, hey, if he came in here like that, people do change. Life has a funny way of bringing people full circle. And the people that you walked over are the same people that you end up needing. So that's why it's important to treat people right. I'm in agreement with that. But if he came to our school, it's an issue. Now I'm going to tell you, let me get on FAMU's case because I'm a FAMUan. Now, last year, what's the Jackson State's athletic director? Ashley?
Yeah, Ashley Robinson.
Okay, Ashley Robinson was actively trying to get Willie Simmons to come to Jackson State. That is known. Okay. Our director, Courtney Gaucher, would not let it happen. But let's do that whole Marvel thing and go to an alternate universe. All right. So he sits up there. Let's say Willie Simmons goes to Jackson State. And Dion now comes to FAMU to say, hey, I want to coach your team. Now, let me tell you about Rattler Nation. It's not a slam dunk that he would have got that gig. You know why?
Why?
Because he went to Florida State. Isn't that dumb? Isn't that dumb, bro? Listen, I'm straight up telling the honest God truth. It's not a guarantee that Dion would have gotten the gig at FAMU. We would have been dealing with ninjas sitting up there talking about Dion went to Florida State. You know, they tried to shut down FAMU. And you know, I'm not sure that Dion, he just gonna walk all over us and stuff. How much does that ninja really want to work here at FAMU? How long is he gonna be? He just trying to step on us so he can go somewhere else and just do what he want to do.
Oh, man.
I am telling you, bro. I am telling you straight up. And if there are any Rattlers that are on this line, you all know beyond a shadow of doubt, I am telling the honest God.
I don't know why that's so funny to me.
I'm telling you, bro. They would have been like, man, Dion, so you really want to coach your FAMU, dog? Like, what you sitting up there for? And you sat up there and Dion said, already been telling, he probably partnering with them Florida State and then just trying to take over the school or some shit. They just trying to do. They're just trying to do all that extra, trying to, I'm not guaranteed. Listen, that negativity has got to leave our institutions.
That's funny.
The way that we think has got to shift. Can this man elevate your program? Yes. Can this man, does he want to be there? He's applied, so apparently, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have the resources? Is he willing to utilize his resources to help build the program and take it to the next level? Absolutely, yes. Yes, across the board. Dion at FAMU would have been a freaking, that would have been huger than huge.
Mm-hmm.
Then you add the whole why not us thing on top of already what Dion brings to the table. And it's like, wow.
I think the only thing tough would have been that Nike contract I got because he don't.
Yeah, that would have been. That would have been. But he brings Under Armour. If he's bringing Under Armour, what's that? But that ain't LeBron though. So
yeah,
that ain't LeBron.
I'm a LeBron guy.
That ain't LeBron. But I'm just saying, Dion, that would have been huge, bro.
So this is. I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna move on to the Week 13 games.
All right.
This is my issue, though, Mr. Kofi. What is up with the recycling? Like, why does
people are scared to really do their own due diligence and do their homework and just look at what freaking makes sense? It killed me. Now, again, let's go back. I'm going to use FAMU because that's my school. How many times did Willie Simmons apply for our gig?
Mm-hmm.
3. He could have been our coach right when he left Alcorn, right when he got that Prairie View gig. He could have been our coach, but we hired Earl Holmes. We hired Earl Holmes, who was a homer, who was in the NFL, and I kind of get it. He was already on the staff. He knew the team, so that was one. Earl Holmes almost went, I think we went 1 Did we win a game? Yeah. 1-10. Okay. And then the next year we fell out of the gate and it was just a mess. And so midway through the season, Kellen Winslow fires him during homecoming week. Everybody's tripping or whatever because we were already on probation and we needed to try to wait this out. It's like, who are you going to freaking get? Here comes Willie Simmons again. Hey, I want the gig. You know, we went through all these different things. You know, Frazier, who's now with Bowie State, applied for the gig. Latrell Scott applied for the gig. Latrell Scott has a freaking natty. You know what I'm saying? But we had a president who, and that's not necessarily a female thing, but she was a woman and she wasn't necessarily knowledgeable about, you know, all things sports. And Willie Simmons applied for the gig. It's like, we're going to X all of them. We can't use none of them. So I'm just sitting up there like, you idiots. Now, me being spiritual, I understand that God does have a timing for stuff. Because I think even during that time, having that president who would have been out of the door anyway in a couple of years would not necessarily have been in his best interest. Okay. And now we got him, you know, he came at a good time. You know, we're all probation, things are happening, programs elevating, and you can see everything that's moving as a result. But my point is, too many ADs have too many people behind the scenes that quote unquote have influence that don't know what the F they talking about. And they listen to these people because they put some dollars in their hand. My problem is just like, look, let us pick the freaking coach. Because when stuff goes wrong, you ain't going to be nowhere to be found. No, you just going to be online. You're just going to be online. My job is to hire the coach. Let me hire the coach. I appreciate your input, but let me hire the coach.
Okay, so people are trying to come for me in these comments real quick before they's like everybody recycles. All right, let me explain to you my definition of recycle, right? I don't have a problem with a coach going from the Pac-12 to the SEC. I don't have a problem with a coach going from Oklahoma to, you know, whatever. My issue is literally you crossed the street. You left your mama's house and went to your cousin's house down the block. And Willie Simmons left the SWAC and went to the MEAC. So that's out of I'm good with that. You know, MEAC, SWAC, MEAC, okay, whatever. But it's the in-conference recycling. Oh, you're a loser here. You're going to be a winner here. Oh, like, what are we doing? Like that part makes, I don't get that. Now, if you want to take a coach from the MEAC or the SCIAA or whatever, and you want to bring them up until, okay, whatever, you like a Reggie Ruffin, you want to bring Reggie Ruffin up from Miles and put him at Alabama State. Well, he's shown that he can build a program. I have no issues with that. It's the in-conference transferring for me that is a killer. Now, if you're talking about the SEC plucking an assistant coach from a staff, that is completely different than a head coach going from a head coaching job in the conference down the street to another head coaching conference. That don't make sense to me, but to each his own. To each his own.
Now, just for the record, you know, John Merritt left Jackson State, went to Tennessee State. Billy Joe left Central State to come to FAMU. I get it. It happens. But in this day and age, when you have quality individuals who are applying for the gig, I'm just saying take an honest look at these people and see if they can help your program as opposed to just getting a retread just for the sake of it.
All right, hold on. Let me see something real quick.
Tell us about the whole process. You know, Mr. President and Mr. AD, tell us how you came to this conclusion. I want to freaking know.
All right. To it. Hey, if you're a caller on the line, like I don't answer calls until after the show, so you're gonna have to wait. I'm just letting y'all know that right now. All right, week 13 games. All right, Valley at PV. Now, once again, my homeboy Blue called it, so I gotta give him credit for that. He did call this upset. I don't know what I don't listen. You okay? So you lose. Okay, let's start back at Texas A&M. You play your starters, because I said, and I gave two. I said, if I put my SWAC hat on, I'm not playing anybody, right? If I'm going to be in the SWAC and I'm doing the SWAC crap, I'm just saying, hey, I'm not worried about this game because it has no implications on my SWAC championship. I don't want to get anybody hurt, so I bench everybody, and I let Juwan play like a series or 3 series, and I'll bench everybody. Well, he ends up getting his shoulder hurt. A couple other players get hurt. Then you go into this Valley game, and your best receiver breaks his ankle with the last like 10 seconds in the game. Pretty much messes up his ankle. So now you're going into the SWAC championship. Like, what is Dooley and people? What are they doing, man? I don't understand it. I don't understand. I know hindsight's 2020, so we can't be like, oh, you go win the game and then you. But I'm confused. I'm just confused.
Woo! Now, as a coach, I would be pissed at the AD who scheduled this freaking the way that it did. I am just dumbfounded that you would have Texas A&M at the end of the season the way that it is. So apparently you didn't have any expectation of possibly playing for a SWAC championship or possibly even hosting it. With the way that you did that, you weren't looking at it from a competitive standpoint. It's still dumb. Ashley didn't do it right. That was not cool. And in addition to that, just, I don't know, because players hear stuff too. So now I don't know how much he has the whole locker room. If this whole Southern thing is really true, if it's rumored that he may be going, in addition to coming off of 2 consecutive losses. Now, I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, hindsight is 2020, and I know you would have had a hard time telling your athletes who want to compete and try to get to the next level, this is my opportunity to show the NFL what I can do against the best. It's going to be hard to keep those guys completely out of the game. I might have done, okay, like preseason, you play first quarter, you play second, you play third, fourth, whatever. But at the same time, you got to look realistically at where you are. And no, you don't want your players getting hurt, but that can happen anytime. So, yeah, I get it. But Valley just freaking came in and wanted the W. So psychologically, for a team like Prairie View to who went into Baton Rouge on their homecoming and totally annihilated a Southern team who was obviously doing homecoming. That was their best game. But since that game, they have not been the same team. And emotionally, you've got to play the entire season. I don't know how this game is going to go. I know they're going to probably bring in an effort, but Valley just wanted that game. They came out and played it like they wanted it. And that's the difference. I don't get what Dooley was doing that game. I know it's a whole different, just scenario, but just mentally speaking, going to Alcorn and playing the way that they did and then coming back at the end. Yeah, you say you cheated, but look, that's Alcorn. You knew you was going there, and it wasn't even a packed house, bro. Like, come on.
I wasn't. Definitely wasn't. Now, I have it on good authority that Coach Dancy actually gave the game plan for this game to Willie Simmons, and he ripped it up, and he was like, I'm going to do it my way, because he gave his running back the ball 40 times, and I heard he was trying to pass that same game plan on to Willie Simmons, and he didn't accept it. So I don't know. I don't know. You might want to talk to your coach about that. I felt that was a little, just pride comes before the fall. That's what they say. Listen, don't shoot the messenger. All right? Don't shoot the messenger. I just got it on good authority. That's what happened. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. I don't doubt it, bro. I am done with that whole thing. I'm just like, the game plan, you cannot change who you are and what you do on a weekly basis. You've been successful doing this. Why would you change what you do? Now, we did this, I want to say in 2019 at the Classic, our base defense changed, and it was like, bro, like, why did you change the base defense? And then we lost. It was like, your base defense would have gotten the job done. I get mad just thinking about it. All right.
Bayou Classic 29-26. Grambling State pulls off the upset over Southern. I don't think anybody. I don't think any. I said.
I sure didn't see this one coming.
Yeah, nobody saw this coming.
I
Nobody.
ain't see this coming. I ain't
Say
gonna
it
lie.
again. Say it again, Steve. Nobody. Nobody saw that coming.
Nobody saw this. And but it is a rivalry game. I am happy that who's the interim coach at Graham? I don't even know his name.
Terrence something. Terrence. Hold on, he's on my baller where I can find it out real quick.
Anyway, he did an incredible. Why you get that name?
Terrence Graves. Terrence Graves. Yeah.
Coach Graves did an incredible motivational job with those guys. Got those guys to rally around the game plan. He got them to believe that they could freaking go in there and beat Southern. And they gave maximum effort. And I think Southern, having won the last two the way that they did, probably felt like, Graham was going to throw the game at.
Mm-hmm.
And they came in thinking that it was going to be business as usual. And Graham was like, it ain't going to be business as usual. We're going to bust you in the mouth, And that's what happened. Grambling came out with the W because they wanted it.
I got some couple of people said he used to be defensive coach at Southern under Pete Richardson, Graham interim coach. Another Pete
That's
Richardson
good.
disciple.
Pete Richardson can coach, and I remember when Pete Richardson was hired at Southern University. Southern University wanted Coach Markham, or Alabama State's coach. And Jaguar Nation was not happy to get Pete Richardson. They were not happy. But Pete Richardson turned out to be the best thing to happen to Southern University since Coach Mumford. And so I'm hoping that they figure it out the right way, because we need Southern to be good.
Yeah, we need Southern and Grambling to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get 55,000 and they both didn't have a winning record, I could only imagine what that game looks like.
Yeah.
Man, oh man. All righty. Coming down to the almighty game of the week, which ended up being a dud. FAMU, Southeast Louisiana, 38-14. Listen, the floor is yours.
I already talked about this, but we went out there and we were not prepared, and I'm disappointed and borderline really pissed. Just because, I'm okay. So the first game during Jackson State, we had a field goal attempt that would have given us the lead 9-7 going into the half, with us getting the ball to open up the second half.
Got blocked.
Dion calls a timeout and changes up the alignment. They end up blocking the kick, and that was really the difference in the ball game. So that's one special teams freaking blunder. Okay. Then you come back and against Alabama A&M, Cornell Maynard is on his own 20-yard line, basically. And it's fourth, and I want to say about 6. Everybody's like, no, he's not going to fake. Well, guess what? He freaking fake punted it, got the first down, and I'm sitting up there like, okay, that's another special teams blunder. This is ridiculous. UAPB had a special teams play against us. And then against Bethune-Cookman, during our extra point, the guy runs straight through the freaking line of scrimmage and blocks the extra point. I'm sitting up there like, OMG. I hate to go back a couple of years. 2018, South Carolina State blocks 2 punts. 2 punts for a touchdown that turned a game that would have been, they gave up a block punt and gave up a kick return for a touchdown. Now, Buddy Buddy Pugh knows special teams and gets it. But I'm like, bruh, like this is a legitimate concern and it's a deficiency. Even in 2019, South Carolina State had a return for a touchdown. In 2018, A&T had the opening kickoff return for a touchdown. This is an issue. And so for Southeastern Louisiana to line up for a kick, and the guy wasn't no outside play, the guy just runs right up the freaking middle.
I mean, it was
for
like
a touchdown.
It was nice too. He didn't even get touched. Wasn't even touched.
He didn't get touched.
Wasn't even touched.
That tells me that you're just lining up for a field goal, just like, okay, well, we just lining up for a field goal. No, it's a freaking play. Try to block the freaking kick. Then Savion Williams sacks my boy twice. Okay, sacks the QB twice. It's 4th down. We do something stupid, rough the kicker. Then, well, it was 5 yards. And then they fake the punt on 4th down.
Yeah.
Get the first down. Then they score another touchdown off. That's 14 freaking points.
Yeah.
14 off of special teams errors. If you're championship squad, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. Now, going back to what I was saying earlier, Bishop Bonnet, Terrell Jennings, McLeod have been toting the darn thing the entire year. They have carried our offense. This team rushed for 276 yards versus Bethune-Cookman. If you go back, even that game, my man McKay had only 23 attempts in that game. That's right where he needs to be on a consistent basis. So to completely turn the game over, you're only down 7-0 to McKay is just dumbfounding. It's already cold. It's borderline raining and drizzling. Why are you throwing the ball like that?
It was raining?
Yeah, it rained a little bit. It was drizzling and stuff. Why would you do that? That's not our game. That's not what got us to this point. You know, I believe McKay is going to be a great quarterback one day. I believe that he'll develop mentally into a phenomenal guy because he works his butt off. That being said, you are what you are. Dance with the one that got you there. Bishop Bonnet should have gotten way more carries than 9 carries during the game. Come on, man. McLeod had 4, and Terrell Jennings, who's faster than McLeod, only had 1 carry. That was just not the right game.
All right, so let me give you a point of view from the Southeast Louisiana. So one of my subscribers, his family member, one of his family members plays on the team, and he told him before the game, he said, "Tell Scotty we're gonna beat them by 20." And I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, we're gonna beat them by 20, easy." And so that's what he told me before I made my pick. So I talked to him today. Actually, I talked to him today, and he said, and he asked his cousin, like, "Yo, why did you know?" And of course, the game ended the way it was, but he said, "Why did you say that?" He said, "On film, they're slow. They're a slow team." He said, our stats. He said our stats are inflated because everybody in the Southland is an air raid style. He said, so we're so used to that. It's just all the defensive stuff that you've seen. It's inflated because it's just everybody's just throwing the ball around and everything's so spread out and everything like that. He said, but you know, we went against a quarterback that we weren't scared of. We knew he couldn't make the throws. He said the running backs are slow. They're not as fast as what we've seen. And he said that their offense isn't complex. There's nothing that we haven't seen before. So he said that's why, you know, they were going to beat them by 20. And you know, I a lot of it I understood, the running back being slow. I was like, yeah, whatever. You know, I don't see that one, but you know, because Bishop was, when he did have a chance, he was shooting around, gets a couple gaps. But when I went back and watched the game, I totally agree. Like the air raid has not taken over in the SWAC. The SWAC does not run an air raid style. Even Jackson State that tries to do it a little bit, they don't even do it as much as so.
You gotta have the line, you have to have the personnel, you have to have the scheme, but you are what you freaking are. And guess what? I don't care about being slow. John Riggins was freaking slow, but guess what? He got 3 yards of freaking carry. I'm going to make you tackle my dudes. I'm going to make you do that until I get tired or I see that you can stop it. Yeah. We didn't even give it a chance. Not to mention, even during the first game, when we played Jackson State, we're trying to throw the ball around. And I'm like, we're not breaking away. Our guys are not in open space. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're as fast as people might think that we are necessarily. Now, mm-hmm. Chad Hunter does have speed, and a couple of our other guys are reasonably fast. But we're not 4-3, 4-2 type, blow you off. And our guys aren't extremely big. So I can kind of like get that. But even with that, that's all the more reason I'm going to burn the clock. Okay. I'm going to try and get 3 yards of carry. Yep. And I'm going to stick with this until I see something open up, just continue to do it. Because I know these guys could have gotten 3 to maybe 4 yards of carry just by the way these guys play defense. They don't tackle that great. I'm talking about Selah. They don't tackle that great that I would have been like, you know what? I'm just going to back off the running game just entirely. No, I'm going to make you do that.
Let me ask you this, though. Real talk, Mr. Kofi. If the shoe was on the other foot, 7-0, right? You're 7-0, 4th and 1, you're at the midfield. Does Willie call a fake punt? That's my point. You just do that to me. That tells me like
too early. That's too early in the game for me to do that. And they had a phenomenal punt and got them all the way down to the 2.
That's true. You do have a great punter. I do give you that. You do have a great punter.
So if I can change the field position with my defense, believing in my defense the way that I do, I would have punted the ball that early in the game. Now, second quarter, we still 7-0. We haven't generated anything. Third quarter, absolutely, I'm going for it.
Okay, that's right. I can respect that. I can respect that. My thing is, this is what when I'm watching that game, seeing how bad Southeast Louisiana wanted the game, that you called a fake. First of all, I see why they did a fake field goal. That kicker is trash. I thought SWAC kickers were bad. That Bama is garbage. Okay, so I understand why they faked that field goal. He was saving his own self from him, but it's just the intent for them to be able to. They put up 48 points per game, and for them to go at it that hard to say, you know what, we're going to get every point we can possibly get. It really resonated with me.
But again, you saw something within our special teams unit that made you say, "Let's do it." That's my point. Would they have done that against Alabama? No. The alignment.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You don't do that. So my point is, there's something. Our special teams, for me, has got to go to a different level. Get somebody in there that knows schemes, that knows blocking. Because the only thing that's really saving that whole special team staff for me is Jamarie Sheree, who was able to return. The kicker obviously had a great year this year. Our punter had a great year. Yeah, but that, to me, is not special teams. That is part of special teams, but I believe in special team scheming. I want to see block kicks. I want to see block punts. I want to see kick returns for touchdowns. I want to see plays being run off the field goal formation. I want to see all of that. I want to see onside kicks, all of that. I want to see touch kicks that your guys that are faux pas, I want to say, onside kicks or secret onside kicks that don't look like it, but it gives your fast guys an opportunity to get 10 yards and catch the ball out of the air. I want to see that creativity begin to manifest on our special teams, and that's not there right now. In fact, it's not really there across the board with our HBCUs, and that's something that we got to take to the next level.
This is the only thing. All right, so I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna move to the championship game. If I'm Bishop Bonnet, me and some of these coaches are gonna have to have a long talk. I'm a 6-year senior. This is my last game. I'm in the playoffs, and you give me 9 carries.
I'd have been livid.
Man.
I'd have been mad, and I'm still mad because he only had 9 carries. When I looked at the statistics, I was livid just because that speaks to the whole game plan and tells me that you weren't looking at this thing. Now, Southeast Louisiana's team, they're not great. on defense. So maybe you saw plays made by other teams that made you say we may be able to get an opening there.
Mm-hmm.
True to form, also, we had plays. I mean, Xavier dropped several balls.
Ooh.
Our receivers dropped several passes that would have extended drives, helped McKay's stats improve, and, just gave us an opportunity to get there. The plays were there.
Yeah.
But you have to have that execution come playoff-wise, and that's all the more reason running the ball would have done it. Take Michigan and Ohio State.
Oh, listen, if
Ohio State is
FAMU,
bruh, I was watching the game like, bruh, I know they watching this game. Like, I had a partner call me, was like, bruh, did you see the Michigan game? I think we can go there against Southeast Louisiana. I think we can do the exact same thing that Michigan did against Ohio State. I think we can do it. And I don't even freaking coach football like that, right? I don't know football, but I just watched Michigan go in there, and they just took it to those Ohio State guys, man, and they were running that freaking ball, man. I'm telling you. If he does that, I believe we got a chance. And Bama's went out there and started just... Come on, man. Come on.
Oh, man. Yo.
I mean, it is what it is.
That's real, though, but that's real. That's real.
It is
right.
what it is.
That's
Michigan, they wanted it, and they established the physicality on that line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And they showed that they could do it. That's how you win ball games. But the good side of that is our boys got that taste. They see that we got some more work to do. They see that there's football outside of the SWAC, and we got to take it to the next level. You don't like losing? Let's improve. Let's take it to the next level. And I can tell you now, our recruiting season is just going to be amazing and off the chain. I'm excited. I can't wait till February 2nd gets here because Willie's going to blow it out of the park.
Facts. We'll see. Might drop the ball in play calling. Anyway, playoffs are... We go keep this real short and sweet because you know how this conversation can go. Real quick, are you still... real quick. Are you still excited about the playoffs, or would you... Celebration.
I'm still excited about the playoffs. I don't like losing. I want to see HBCU succeed at the highest level, just like we do in every other freaking sport. We do it in every other sport. Now, I would like to see bowl games for teams that don't have that opportunity. I want to see it, bro. But playoffs gives you an opportunity to readily compete for a natty.
Yeah.
You have an opportunity to compete for a national title against the very best in the country. Now, Celebration Bowl's paying out a lot of money. I get it.
I like how you brought the tone back down.
They're paying out a lot of money, But if FAMU beat Jackson State, and now we're going to play South Carolina State again. This is a team we beat to sleep and brag. So we going to Atlanta to beat this team to sleep again? What do we have to prove? Like, what are we freaking gaining by playing in the Celebration Bowl?
Yeah.
It's FAMU this year. If we would have won the SWAC and had to play South Carolina State again, our people would have been clamoring for the playoffs anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, we have an opportunity. Playoffs is your report card. It's your final exam. Let's see where we line up. Physically, athletically, I don't think that Selah was that much better. Now
no, by no means.
Their schemes offensively were nice. I liked the passing lanes that they were able to develop. I liked all of that stuff, bro. But what got me pissed was again that special teams play. That's I'm sitting up there because I grew up a Miami Dolphins fan, so we always had great special teams. And because I've witnessed so many teams in the playoffs, in FCS level, Georgia Southern, Youngstown State, even App State, have great special teams, not from the kicker and punter standpoint, but from your scheme, your blocking, all that stuff, I know it's a factor. And to see us go out there and just give up a touchdown, I was just sitting up there like, bruh, like that was very disappointing and very telling. That's just something we gotta fix.
Yeah.
And it can't be fixed by somebody that don't know what they're doing. They're people that literally study this stuff for a living. They do it.
Yeah.
And they understand. That's the guy I want coaching my special teams.
Not just the leftover coach.
No.
All right. Money. Yeah.
So so let me say this.
Yeah.
Let me say playoffs for me. I would like to see playoffs. I like to see both. Again, but this left a very bitter taste in my mouth because I know we're freaking better than that. And for us to go out there and lose the way that we did was not cool. I was just like, yeah. All right. So people like and share. People like and freaking share.
That's what we do. All right. Last question. Hey, guys, call lines are open. We're taking this last question, and then we're going to get to the call lines, all right? Prairie View versus Jackson at the
Next. Take the calls. I ain't talking about this. Next.
I guess
now, I would say, let me say this. I don't mean to insult the Prairie View fans, okay? All right? Because Prairie View does have talent. Prairie View does, but Jackson State's not going to lose this game. They're not going to lose this game at the vet. You injured your QB. Your best wide receiver is hurt. Jackson State would have to come in and completely lay an egg for Prairie View to pull this off.
And I think Ladinian Brooks is like he's hobbled too as well, and that's their best running back.
Bruh, when you experience injuries like that at the end of the year, I've seen it. It tears down your team. You're not able to withstand the physicality. And scheme-wise, Jackson State has been a beast defensively for the most part. They're fast. Call it and call Tyrone with that calling the PV upset right now. It ain't gonna happen.
Oh man,
I'm just playing, bro. You can pick who you want to pick. It's a free country, right?
Yeah, that's what you can. Hey, caller, you live? Talk to me.
Hello?
Yeah, caller, you live. What's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Mike. Calling for Tallahassee.
What's up, Mike? Talk to us.
Man, I gotta say we gotta give Ben Crump a call too, man.
Who? Ben Crump?
Attorney Ben Crump.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
All them the flags they were throwing at that Florida A&M and SLU game. Not to say that just had a whole lot to do with the game, but man, it was almost outrageous just being and seeing some of the ways they was holding land and holding number 0. Man, it was just.
Let me say this.
Hold on, Mike. Go ahead, Mr. Coffee. Go ahead.
All right. So when you're on the road in the playoffs, you're gonna get bad calls. And my friend who works at Southern University, he was like, bruh, let me tell you, bruh, y'all going to Hammond, Louisiana. Now, I know you sat up there and you talk bad about Southern University and they crazy fans, but let me tell you, you're going into Klan country. Them crackers is not finna let y'all get out of SELA with a W. I'm telling you now. Them referees gonna call flags. They gonna cut the damn fool. I'm telling you now, they gonna do it. And I'm telling you, them people crazy. It's Klan country. They are racist as all get up. So, I coach tennis, right? So when I would train my brother and train other players, I would purposely call the ball out that I knew was in because I wanted to see how you were going to react. Are you going to keep your composure or are you going to continue to play? You're going to get cheated. You're the only freaking HBCU and you're going into the heart of Klan country. You're going to get bad calls. And I've seen it. Even the Youngstown State game that we should have won, I mean, that wide receiver was right in front of the referee right before the half. He pushed, he pushed our DB down, caught the ball for a touchdown right before the half, and Youngstown State was able to get back into the LSU is hiring Brian Kelly as their head coach. That's wow.
Yeah.
That's huge. But But yeah, man, I hate it. It sucks, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. These people are not gonna give up their territory freely. We gotta go in and take it. And being in the SWAC, we used to raggedy made up calls anyway. Like it's crazy, bro. It feels different coming when it's coming from white people.
Yes, that's very true, man. And just being in the stands, and it was almost overwhelming at times, man. Like just being there and seeing it. It almost like that's why I said we gotta call Bill Ben Crump, because it was child abuse, man. It was like, come on, man, like let the boys play. Let them play.
Now
You know,
them people out there are not
if
finna let
it's flag,
you get away with nothing.
hey,
They're not gonna let you get away with that. And these colors are coming in here. They're thinking they're all that in a bag of chips.
I must not have been watching the same game because I didn't see a lot of flags. I did see holding calls that weren't made. I did see holding calls that weren't made, but I didn't see a lot of flags being thrown. I'm not watching. I guess I wasn't watching the same game.
No, you had to beat up, man. I promise you. Talk to anybody from even some of the Southeastern, some of the student body, they even recognized it too. But they was like, hey, that's how it's supposed to go. You not playing at home. But I mean, in a way they was right. But I still don't feel that's right. You know, it's a playoff game. Let's have an even match across the board. It felt like when I was watching the game in the stand, like I was watching the SWAC, like Jackson State playing. Because I know for some reason, what I noticed, I played at Alabama State. But what I noticed, and this was like in 2007, but what I noticed with Dion is for some reason, the calls will favor Jackson State a lot of the times. Even when you would notice the when Southern scored against Jackson State right before the half, and the referee running up dumbfounded like he didn't see anything. Like he looking right directly at it. And it was amazing when the offensive lineman from Southern ran up to the referee and started jumping up and down like a little baby. But that's just almost the real, I guess a realistic version of an unfair world.
I appreciate the
all I got.
Yeah, appreciate the call. Let me say this before I take this call. People have called me and say they do not like that Dion and the refs mingle a lot before the game. They say they do not like that. I've had a couple teams say like, Dion goes up to them, they be all chit chatting, but coaches do that. No, most coaches do that, but it just looks bad when you're Dion doing it. But let me take this call real quick. This is Bishop. Hey, what's up, Bishop? Talk to us.
What's good?
What's good, man? What's good with you?
Shit, just chilling.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you a couple questions, right? So, how exciting were you? Like,
hey, hold on. Before we start, it ain't gonna be no
bashing. No, yeah. No, I got you. No, I don't get down like that. All right. So, what was the game plan when you when you guys game plan throughout the week? What was the game plan originally before you went down 14-0?
Keep Cole Kelly off the field. Game manage, run the ball. Game manage the clock. Really about it.
Now,
not to get too much into it.
No, I got you. Yeah, I got you. I just wanted to. Now I saw you had a lot of pants difficulties. What was up with that? Like you didn't get no belt? What I mean, what was going on? I'm like, my man.
Nah. I ain't had no. Usually my pants be tight anyway. So with the belt, I really don't be caring. So yeah, that's about it.
Oh, okay. Now, this is my last question. I'm gonna let Mr. KOFI if he has any questions. My thing is this: as a senior, this being your last game, what were you expecting? Like, what I'm saying? Like, how did you want? I know you didn't want to go out with a loss. I understand that, but how? What was your expectations going into the game?
Get a dub by any means. To keep it G. I would have took a 9-carry, 50 game, 9-carry, 50 yard in a dub over 20 carry, 200-yard game and a loss. That's just me personally. So overall, I love the ball out. I have a great game. I never worry about stats.
Facts.
So my outlook was just to have a great game and just win. That was my outlook for the game.
You got something for Mr. KOFI?
I mean, congratulations, obviously, on a great year. You're one of my favorite players. To don the orange and green this year, I want to say. But I want to say I'm going to miss you, first of all. And I want to say just the camaraderie that you guys and the teamwork that you all distributed, I want to say throughout, to hear you say what you said in regards to the carries and your thought process tells me that you are a team guy. What is the mood of the team going forward? I mean, this was your last hurrah, really with the playoffs. What's in your heart regarding the future of Rattler football? Where do you think we can go?
We're only going up from here because I know one thing about Coach Simmons is he's a great recruiter. He don't bring in scrubs at all. So we're only going up from here. And my piggyback on the playoffs is, you gotta go through stuff to be better. You feel me? It kind of remind me of like my senior year in high school. Like we didn't know how it feels to go to state. You feel me? So we took a trip down to the stadium just to get a feel of how everything was. You feel me? So I feel like this year, we really wanted to go all the way. We weren't just happy with going to the playoffs. So y'all can get that out y'all head. We really wanted to. Really believe we can make a run at this thing. You feel me? So like I just feel like us being in this playoff now, we get as a team, we get to understand like, okay, this playoff atmosphere. The fans, that was crazy. The fans are crazy. It was crazy. So just going through it and experiencing that was the best thing for us, to be honest.
I honestly believe
I feel like we need to stay with the playoffs, to be honest. That's me personally. That is my personal opinion, because if you want to be the best nationally, you got to beat the best. That's how it is.
I'm in total agreement with that. Obviously, as Fantasia says, sometimes you got to lose to win. I know that that's a part of the process. It's not easy. You're a winner. Nobody likes to lose. But at the same time, I'm a firm believer as well that you learn probably a lot more about yourself, your deficiencies, and your strengths from losses. And I know for a fact that Coach Simmons is going to take it to the next level. I just want to see us tighten up on the special teams just a little bit more. But that's about it.
Hey, Bishop. Before we let you go, man, let me. It's something I wanted to ask you. Like when I watched the Why Not Us, and I love the position you took as a leader on the team that says, if you're not trying to take my job, you know what I'm saying, you're not doing your part. That mindset that you have, because a lot of kids don't have that, with being a starter, being a senior. Nobody wants their job to be taken. How much was that, from you? And then how much is that from Willie Simmons and the culture he's instilled at FAMU?
That's definitely because, since Willie Simmons came, like I said before, we don't bring scrubs. So, there was a lot of competition at running back this year. Like a lot of people ask me, how did you feel about this year? I didn't expect for me to have the year I had, to be honest. Because, we got me, Terrell Jennings, Jalen McLeod, we got E.T. in the backfield, and we got DeAndre Francis, who's going to be a great running back. You feel me? So I'm just thinking like, damn, I'm just going to have a good year. So to have the year I had, it was crazy because the competition that we have is amazing. So, and then also me, that's just me personally. I'm a dog. You feel me? Regardless. That's how I went to Reigns High School. You feel me? That's
Duval.
Yeah.
Man, Bishop, man, I appreciate you calling in. And
I gotta ask this last question. What was your favorite game? The Alabama A&M game or the Classic?
That's a good one.
No, my favorite game was the Classic.
Why?
EK. That's because I've been at FAMU since 2015. I was a walk-on, and as a walk-on, I traveled to the Recruitment game. everybody don't travel. For all the real football players who went to college, you know. Yeah, I guess that's another topic, but you know, I travel every year, so every year I always ended up going home with a loss. So to be able to have the game I had and have the win, it was amazing. You feel me? Then to jumping into the crowd, my mom and them was right there. That's the only reason why I jumped into the crowd.
That's what's up.
Like, it was just amazing.
Hey Bishop, you know, I don't know. I know we reached out and we talked a little bit, and you know, I'm a big fan.
We locked in.
You know, I call you the grandma, and I know the name don't sound right, but it's just how it's just that you do everything for the team, and you know, I've always been a bit, you know, hey, listen, if you're stuck in a rut, give it to Bonnet. That's been my mindset and my motto, man. But listen, B, I appreciate you calling in, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to your boys who's watching this as well. I saw General Hunt in the comments as well. Shout out to him, the freshman. And what's next for you, man? Tell us what's next for you before you get up out of here.
What's next? You know, training for my pro day. If I don't hear nothing with football, I'm giving myself to about June to be realistic with myself. If I don't hear nothing with football, you know, I'm just going to go in a workforce. I got 2 degrees. You know, my first one's in construction engineering, another one in interdisciplinary studies. So yeah, I got a few connections with some well-connected people. So you know, being at FAMU really set me up to be successful. Very, very successful.
That's what's up. That's what Mr. Campbell always says. He's like, once you leave FAMU, you're gonna be connected. Hey, Bishop, man, appreciate the call, man, and you be blessed, my boy.
Keep striking.
Love you too.
All right, man. All right, guys, that was Bishop Bonnet with the call in, man. That was what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. Y'all might see me and Bishop hook up sometime in the future. You know, talk about his career and stuff like that. Ooh, call lines buzzing. They buzzing. Let me get Mr. Ford up in here. What's up, Mr. Ford? Talk to me.
Hey, I want to say to hold on, let me turn this down. I want to say to Mr. Hemmingway, you bringing it tonight. I just want to say to you, I respectfully disagree about the whole thing about the special teams. The biggest problem FAMU has, and the thing that's keeping them from being elite, is that they don't have a trigger man for Willie's offense. That's the number one problem that's facing FAMU. One of the things that Billy Joe taught us, he taught us in the years that he was in the NCAA playoffs, you have to have an offense that can score at the drop of a hat. And I can remember that 99 team when he had, I want to say
Juwan Sider.
He had 2 quarterbacks.
Quinn Gray and Juwan Sider.
One is now he's the quarterback coach at Alcorn.
Quinn Gray.
He was a big guy from Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, and then the other one, he's an assistant coach. I know he was at Penn State or something.
Juwan Sider.
Right. Okay, that's right. Now, here's the thing about it. FAMU could attack you in the air, and they could attack you on the ground. And so what I'm saying is, until Willie goes and gets that elite quarterback, that offense that he's trying to run, it's one-dimensional. Because the only thing that FAM can do right now is run the football. You can't be superior. You can't be outstanding in the playoff if you are one-dimensional. Because people who are worth their salt, the defensive coordinators, they will stop you. And that's one thing I learned from Coach Billy Joe. You have to be able to run, but you also have to be able to throw. And I'm going to end with this. I heard a story today, and I would just like for the Alabama State people to please tell me, is this the truth or is this a myth? And the story goes that they had a president down at Alabama State by the name of Dr. Joseph Silver. He uncovered some corruption and graft going on with the trustees. One of the trustees took money, some kind of way he embezzled money that had been set aside to build the stadium, and took this money and built his daughter a home. And so this president, this Joseph Silver, supposedly he turned whistleblower and told the people in state government at Alabama what had happened. that they had people on the Alabama State Trustee Board embezzling money. Now, here's the ironic part of it. Instead of dealing with the trustees, they fired Joseph Silver, gave him so many thousands of dollars to go home and get lost, but those people are still on that board. And so what those Alabama State alumni was telling me today was that this stuff that's going on with this Eddie Robinson pick and with this guy, no, I do not hate Alabama State. That's a lie. I had several teachers from Alabama State. So Kevin Liddell, please stop telling that lie. I have great admiration and great respect for Alabama State. I'm just telling you a story that I heard today. And I want somebody from Alabama State to tell me, is it the truth or is that a myth? But they're saying that this man reported this graft and corruption, and instead of the state government dealing with the people on the board of trustees, they fired the president who told them what they were doing. And my last point, I was so disheartened today. I came home today from school and I saw the list that you put up, Scotty, about all those people that Alabama State could have hired. My thing was, we couldn't complain about the competition in the SWAC. We got a chance to get people like Hugh Jackson. We got a chance to get a guy like Kevin Summerlin, and we don't even return these people's phone call. So I'm saying today, I'm a Grambling graduate. We have Noah Biden. I would love for us to get Hugh Jackson to train him and get him ready to win all of these SWAC championships he can win, and to get that kid ready for the NFL. Listen, y'all have a good night. Enjoying you.
Appreciate it. Hey, listen, let me tell you something. Mr. Ford, when he don't like something, you better stand back. I'm telling you, that boy gonna be shooting. He gonna shoot you till you're dead. Oh, I'm telling you, if you twitch too much, he gonna shoot you again. Hey, Ryan, what's up, man?
What's up, man? I got a couple questions. You start with Mr. Kofi. How you doing?
All right, how are you?
I'm all right. Hey, I'm looking forward to next year. Jackson and FAMU playing the first game. What FAMU roster looking like next year?
We're gonna be fine, bro. This is pretty. We're going to be fine. We've got 2 freshman classes that actually came in this year. So a number of players got redshirted. So you're going to see Isaiah Land next year. You're going to see General Hunt next year. You're going to see Boulder back next year. You're going to see Terrell Jennings back next year. You're going to see McKay back next year. You're going to see that wide receiver core back next year. You're going to see about 4 to 5 offensive linemen next year. We're going to be stacked and really reloading. The issue, obviously is what I want to say is what's going to enhance the team is this whole transfer portal deal. Now, there's a lot of opportunity and coaches have to really discern, but the Rattlers will be ready to really take home this OBC title come Labor Day weekend. Now, we actually play a week 0 game against the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. So we're going to go up there and really attempt to try to do well and possibly win that game. So Coach Simmons is going to bring, I know everybody's looking at Deion's class, but I'm telling you now, Coach Simmons' class is going to be top 10 come 2022.
So you the same
Tevin Griffey
around this.
What were you about to say?
Yeah, you say what?
I was going to say
you expect the same hype around next year's game as we had this year.
The OBC game is going to sell out.
What kind of question is that? What kind of question is that?
The only thing that kept this game.
They said it sold out. I went to the one this year. They said it was supposed to sell out.
Come on, bro.
No.
Come on. Everybody and their mama gonna want this rematch. What kind of question is that? The top 2 teams.
Here's the deal. You still had 33,000 that were at that game.
No,
right?
That's why I asked. That's why I asked Scotty. That's why I had asked that who did FAM had, because I know they're losing Marquise. And I thought they were losing a lot of firepower from this year's team. And Bishop,
Nah, this team is loaded and locked for next year. There's a lot of people that you didn't see that you're going to find out about plus the whatever Coach Simmons signs through the transfer portal. That's becoming a tongue twister. The transfer portal. Porter. The transfer porter. All right. Is going to be amazing. But let me say this game is going to sell out. The thing that kept the game from selling out this year was the COVID strand. So we don't have no more COVID issues with Omicron or what's the Delta and none of that other stuff. This game's going to sell out.
Cool. That was hey, one more thing though, Scotty. Kofi, what did you have any issues with the all SWAC team? Anybody you felt like? Hey, Scott, that's what I had wanted to talk to you about. I thought the biggest problem was James Houston not being Defensive Player of the Year. That was the most egregious thing to me. But
it's debatable. It's debatable, but Isaiah Land had an incredible year, bro. If you would have taken that away, there would have been some Rattlers that would have been basically saying the same stuff. But let James Houston go on out there and do his thing. Just prove everybody wrong.
If I'm being honest, I think that's the only guy that should have won both awards, Newcomer of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. That's my personal opinion. But what do I know?
Congrats to Isaiah Land, Defensive Player of the Year from the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University,
who is still looking for Cole Kelly because he didn't touch him. From FAMU University.
Florida A&M.
Florida A&M. Anyway, strike, or miss, and miss again. Anyway, let me see. Next caller. Hey, caller, you live? Talk to me.
Scotty, what's up, man? It's your boy Mike from Hammond, dog.
Mike from Hammond. What's up, Mike?
Mike from Hammond.
What's up, man? Kobe, what's up, my boy?
What's up, man?
So look, man. Look. I'm in Hammond Saturday night, bro. I'm like, man, I ain't going to Bayou Classic. I gotta go over here and see what's happening. Hammond ain't that big, bro. Like, while I was at a reception and like you could hear the game from over there. I'm like, damn, it must be packed. Damn, you must have brought some people. Parking lot was empty. I'm like, wait, whoa, fam, you supposed to travel. Something ain't right about this. Parking lot was empty. So we didn't go in. And like I told you, I'm a football coach myself, and a couple of guys I coach with, they went to Southeastern, right? And we talking, they like, what the hell's wrong with FAMU? What the hell's wrong with FAMU? Those big, now here go the racist talk. And we talk to each other like this because we know each other. That big ass mugger they had running that ball, why they stop letting them run the ball? And that big mugger they had at defensive end, he can't do shit. So he wasn't talking about it.
Couldn't do nothing.
So I'm like, man, FAMU the big guy here and shows us shit.
Listen.
Oh, it was ugly, bro.
It was ugly.
Now, I want to say, obviously, I feel like we just came in with the wrong game plan. And even if they came in with the wrong, I want to say the game plan to keep Cole Kelly off the field, the administration and the execution of that game plan was not there. And obviously I'm disappointed because I know we can play a whole lot better. And that's that.
Hey, but I mean, my thing about it was, before a game, you can only go by stats and all that when you doing a matchup. And Scotty, like I heard you say, bro, you say styles make fights in games,
Facts.
And I agree with that. But at the same time, man, when you got the number one defense, you know what I'm saying, and these people got all these people hurt. These people got all these people out. This was the worst defense. Like, I'm sorry, my bad. Let me rephrase that. They had the worst defense. FAMU offense was pretty decent. And you couldn't score until they put in the scrubs. Like, that's a slap in the face. This is the worst defense of FCS. And FAMU couldn't score on these people. So what does that say about our level of play?
What I would say is,
and FAMU supposed to be just as good as Jackson State. So it's like, and I'm gonna judge you. I'm a two-time graduate of Jackson State. I don't know if y'all know that, but that's where I come from. So I'm saying, but damn, if they got the worst defense of FCS, FAMU couldn't even score to the fourth quarter. What does that say about our talent level of talent?
Now, what I would say is Jackson State is not all that in a bag of chips. Obviously, they only won by 1 point. So, in addition to that, J-State's offensive line is, I want to say, suspect. What I will say is what wins football games It's execution and strategy. And we simply went in with the wrong strategy. Same thing happened against Jackson State. We went out there trying to get McKay to throw the ball all over the place when the strength of our team was in the running game. Had Bishop Bonnet was averaging 5 yards a carry. Travis Jennings had 5 yards a carry. Our other running backs had 5 yards a carry. So if you got 5 yards a carry, they carry the ball twice. That's a first down. Keep running the ball. We didn't do it.
For like me, bro, I didn't say why y'all should have had like 30 carries, though.
We didn't do it. I mean,
I don't know. Y'all got some big ass running back, man.
It was a lack of commitment to the run. And sometimes you just make those decisions as a coach thinking that you can do something that you can't do, you know, and trying to make, I want to say, as they say in the Deep South, squeeze blood out of a turnip. We just didn't have it. So, you know, but what that does say is that we need to take it to the next level. That's what it says. And the only way you can correctly evaluate that is to play against competition that will draw that out or expose your weaknesses. You gotta play. You gotta play against better.
That's always been an issue. The trenches has always been an issue with those guys, though. Like, I mean, you know, HBCUs playing against PWI FCS schools. That's always been the gimmick right there. The line of scrimmage. They've always been better in the trenches than us. That's always been the gimmick.
We weren't that much deficient in the trenches. Sometimes you get a matchup where a guy is just better than you. But I mean, Savion had 2 straight sacks, and we gave the ball right back to him with a bonehead penalty and then a fake punt on 4th down. That shouldn't have happened. You know, so that's just stuff that happens. Stuff you just really got to work on to take to the next dimension and level, man. I'm ready to see another HBCU, if not us, win a natty on the football level. I want to see it happen in baseball. I want to see it happen in track. I want to see it happen in basketball. I want to see us make the freaking Sweet 16, but it's not going to happen until we increase our level of commitment, get our infrastructure, and get better quality athletes and better coaching. That's the bottom line.
All right, one last thing, bro. Let me let y'all go. I know y'all got a million people waiting on y'all. So I want to ask you, Kofi, like, and be honest with me, dog. Don't get FAMU and show me. Don't get FAMU and show me. Do you? If you Willis Simmons, do you look for another quarterback this year?
Oh, absolutely. You do whatever you can with your team to get to the next level. In fact, he was looking for that this year. The guy that's, I want to say, starting at South Dakota State was signed to FAMU. Ola Coden was going to be our starting QB. But we had some administrative issues that didn't want to admit the man as a grad student with some type of dumb stipulations or whatever. He would have been our starting QB this year, and you wouldn't have even heard of McKay. So what I would say is I'm happy with Coach Black's development and Coach Simmons' commitment to developing McKay, because McKay obviously improved, and I think that he's going to continue to improve. If he ends up being the starter, it's because he has earned it. But I fully expect Coach Simmons to go out and get another QB that's going to get it. By the way, Spencer Rattler is out there in the transfer portal, and it would be really interesting if Spencer Rattler became a Rattler on the highest of 7 hills in Tallahassee. So, what'd he say?
No, nothing. It was a drop I did. Hey, appreciate the call, Mike.
Oh,
all right, no doubt, bro.
All right, appreciate you.
Spencer Rattler become a FAMU. Spencer Rattler becomes a Rattler. I see what you're doing there. Aha.
Smart guy. Smart guy.
I see the NIL. I see the deals turning.
There we go. It's been turning.
I see it. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Hey, what's going on, Scotty?
What's good? Turn your background down for me.
Okay, yeah, I just did.
All right,
James calling from California.
Talk to me, James.
My question for you guys is, do you think more of these schools will be open to NFL coaches like Prime, depending on how many guys get drafted after this
I don't think that has anything to do with it. I don't think it has anything to do with it. It has something to do with who's doing your hiring process and the infrastructure of your program and team. I think that obviously Prime's success opened the door for Eddie George. Tennessee State immediately made an adjustment and went after him. You know, if Willie Simmons goes somewhere else, FAMU's going to hire somebody phenomenal because you're going to be coming behind somebody that's absolutely amazing. He's not going anywhere anytime soon, so I don't want anybody reading in that. But absolutely. Now, other HBCUs like Alabama State and apparently Southern University have a problem with this. I'm not understanding it at all. If Ed Reed calls my program and says that he wants to coach my team, I'm looking deep into that. If Hugh Jackson calls and says he wants to coach my team, I'm looking into that. I'm looking into that heavily because that generates revenue for your program. You know, so absolutely.
And somebody wanted you to finish your comment about Tevin Griffey.
Tevin Griffey is a phenomenal athlete, and he's going to get an opportunity to play. As a freshman, it was just going to be difficult for him to consistently break into the lineup, and you don't want to break in for no reason and then him lose his eligibility over a technicality. There are guys like BJ Bowler and his brother that just are the coaches trust a little bit more, and as he learns the system, he's going to do it. But he's incredibly athletic. He's super quick, very fast, and he's very explosive, and he's going to make plays for us, and I'm excited about his future at FAMU.
Cool. What's up, Mr. Campbell? Talk to me.
Hey, man, listen, I want to play devil's advocate on something about what you got. I want to get you guys' opinion on this, okay?
We bind the devil on off script.
A lot about how we should hire somebody or whatever. So let me throw this at you guys. Dooley was the offensive coordinator at Grambling that won the SWAC twice. I think he actually won an award for being an assistant coach on that level. He goes to Prairie View, and they have a winning season. He's been there 3 years, and haven't had 3 years have been the winning season, and they're in the SWAC championship. So with that resume,
maybe the devil didn't want you to say that
Your
statement.
phone is breaking up really bad. Your phone is breaking up really bad.
What about now?
All right, look, yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
I was saying about I'm trying to have a real phone discussion here because we're having a lot of fan first take stuff, and sometimes that shit throws me off. You've got a guy like Dooley, who was the offensive coordinator of the 2 SWAC champion, Black national champion, and I believe he won an award for being an assistant coach, like offensive coordinator, whatever. He goes to Prairie View, has, I think 2 years they've had a winning record. At least 2 of them, and he's in the SWAC championship. He's developed quarterbacks, he's got Pass, and he developed Kincaid. So you're telling me that if he comes in there and shows his resume, that's not a strong resume to get a coaching job or so?
Absolutely.
And I love it. Woods and all those, but he hasn't actually shown that he has won. He has developed players. He has recruited. But you're going to see how.
Okay, so I understand your question.
That's right.
I understand your question and your thought process, and I would say absolutely. But if you ask me again, if Kevin Sumlin is in the equation, am I going to hire Dooley or am I going to hire Sumlin? And my answer would be Sumlin. If you tell me that Hugh Jackson is coming in after the work that he's done with Hickbot, and Hugh Jackson is interested in my program, say what?
Coach, I'm talking about a coach versus celebrity coach. Potential.
I'm just talking about a coach.
Somebody like Kevin
Sumlin, at the end of the day,
actually has been a head coach. Because that's what
Okay,
the argument
Jerry
is.
Mack. If
Other
Jerry
shouldn't
Mack calls,
hire Dooley, they should go get Ed Reed. They should go get Rod Wilson. They should go get Marshall Faulk.
bruh, if Jerry Mack called, and I know that he called at Southern University, I'm going with Jerry Mack over Dooley. Straight up.
Now, why is that?
Jerry Mack has championships. How many championships does Dooley have as a head coach?
SWAC championship guy.
How many championships does Dooley have as a head coach?
Okay, so I'm asking you. Tell me about Mack, because I don't know Mack. Who is Mack? I don't know him.
Jerry Mack was the head coach at the North Carolina Central University. He beat Broadway multiple years in a row at North Carolina A&T. So he took the North Carolina Central program and was able to elevate it to a championship status. He won it 2 years in a row. So getting somebody like him, who again is a Jackson State grad, who knows the SWAC, who respects Jaguar Nation, who has ties in the Tennessee area, has ties in the Deep South, in Louisiana and Mississippi, and would be able to recruit and assemble a staff that would be absolutely phenomenal. I'm going with Jerry Mack.
So you keep going back to my point. You keep going back to guys that actually coached. You keep doing what I'm not asking you. I'm asking the question that Scotty has been posing. I would not take a retread. So that would be a guy that knows how to coach. I'm asking a question.
He keeps going blank on the question.
Yeah,
Every time he asks a question.
Your phone is cutting out really bad. You have to either find another connection or call back in.
What was his question?
If I'm not, I think he's talking about taking a retread coach over a celebrity coach who has not coached before. That I think that's where he was going.
I would do that. I get it.
I would. I would.
You know, but at the same time, you know, you have to weigh the balances, and that's why, you know, they pay those guys the big bucks. But I'm looking hard at Ed Reed regardless, because I know Ed's going to be able to recruit. I got to be able to compete and beat Dion on a consistent basis, or my fan base is going to be upset.
I'm not paying $400,000 for this. This is what I'm not paying $400,000 for. I'm sorry, I'm not.
You're not paying $400,000 for what?
For Eric Dooley in this record.
Okay.
I'm not paying $400,000 for that. I get you about $250. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Calling you live.
Yeah, all right. Thanks for taking my call, man. Listen, I'm a FAMU graduate and been a FAMU supporter for a long time. I want to make sure, I want to confirm this, because when I first heard it, it really pissed me off. So Kofi might be able to know what it is. It's my understanding that it was a bid of under $55,000 to host the playoff game. And if that's true, I'm telling you, I'm pissed off, because we came up with $100 and some thousand, or $90 to $100 some $1,000 to take the band to Southern. And you go tell me that we can't come up with $55,000 to host a game that could have been a major difference in play and how we do things. I got to hear that, and I want to know if that's true, and how do we go to a situation where we can't come up with $55,000 to bid to host a playoff game?
I would say that that's not true. I would say that the reason why we did not host the game is because they're doing construction on Bragg Stadium that had already started, and that was really the deal. The bid was over $150,000 as far as I know, but they had already taken, you know, just doing work and everything, so we wouldn't have been able to host that game anyway. Now, going forward, I think that if something is going to happen in Tallahassee, we have multiple stadiums in Tallahassee. So even Capitol Stadium, if you're talking about 12,000 seats at $40 a ticket, you know, you do the math, that's your bid. So it would have been pointless for us to bid $55,000 just because it doesn't make any sense. That's absurd, and that's a rumor.
And you wouldn't have made your money back? That's what you're saying?
No, that's just, yeah, the $55,000 bid is not going to be, it's a drop in the pan. It's like no money at all. you know, you're gonna make that money back. So
too easy. Let me go with. Hey, what's up, bud? Talk to me.
What's up, Scotty?
What's good?
Hey, real quick, man. I kind of agree with what you've been saying today as far as the retrade, but here's the thing about the SWAC coaches, man. I think that sometimes we look past. I was really disappointed in Willie Simmons because it's kind of like you were saying. I heard Mr. KOFI say, well, we had this for his matchup. But then at some point, don't you have to start blaming the scheme? And how can we say he one of our best coaches when, hey, you got a quarterback sitting in the pocket, eating you alive? Why not blitz? Hey, you got a great running back. Why not run the ball? How you mess up on stuff like that? So if this the best coach we got to offer, I would, of course, I have Simmons or somebody else or something. I mean, like the SWAC coaches are pitiful sometimes. Like, am I wrong? Am I looking at it wrong? Did you look at that game and feel like that it was it wasn't a good matchup, or it was just poor coaching?
I'm gonna let the FAMU graduate answer that question. Would you like to answer that, Mr. KOFI?
What I'm going to say, and you know, I believe in Coach Simmons. I know his heart. I know I've seen him call good games.
How you know he's hard?
Let me say this. I love him. This was not indicative.
With the heart of these men. I'm not saying he's not a good.
No, he asked me the question. Let me go ahead and say it.
Go ahead.
The way I want to say it. So
go ahead, Mr.
calm
KOFI.
down. All right. Now, love him. This was just not this was not indicative of what he's capable of. We'll put it like that. I don't understand it. I don't understand the game plan. I didn't understand it. I didn't like the execution. It was not there. But the thing is, he's a fast learner, and I expect him to be a whole lot better going into next year. So I'm good with that.
But Mr. KOFI, I mean, I heard the running back get on there. He kind of say, well, you go to a situation, you kind of learn from it. Well, that was just plain ignorant. Oh, I thought good coaches, that's how you determine good coaches.
I've seen several Hall of Fame coaches.
In-game adjustment.
Yeah, and it's real easy for us to do that, obviously, from here. And I'm not excusing his the performance of the Rattlers this past weekend. They felt it. Nobody wanted to win more than them. Q and Nick Saban, I get it. But at the same time, I've seen some of the best coaches do some dumb stuff.
True.
That's from Bill Belichick. That's Bill Belichick. That's Nick Saban. That's just about everybody in the book. Dabo Sweeney. I've seen it. So it happens.
Okay.
I'm not going to judge his entire body of work over one game.
Because I know you're a big time FAMU fan. I want to make sure I heard you right. Did you say that FAMU is going to have a top 5 national recruiting class this year?
FCS, top 10 FCS.
Yeah, top 10. I said top 10.
I thought he said national recruit.
Nah, top 10.
You really think they're going to be better than Jackson State this year, then? No.
Top 10.
Yeah, they're going to be up there, though. They're going to be up there.
I mean, listen. I mean,
they're going to be up there.
I don't want to get there, but we
hey, man. Honestly, I want to see y'all do good because, hey, Scotty, you know this. I believe this. Things gonna get tough in the SWAC if somebody don't. It's gonna get real tough in the SWAC. If with the team that we had this year to say that we didn't lose a game in the SWAC, you put another year on that, a few more recruits, it's gonna get tough in the SWAC, guys.
And let me say this. Let me say this as well. Let me say this as well. I remember when Florida State University had the top recruiting class in the country for years. The University of Miami's class was never ranked in the top 15. However, when the University of Miami suited up to play Florida State, Miami cleaned their clock several years in a row. So forget a star. You got to get out there and you got to play the game. Youngstown State for years had 3-star people, 2 stars, 1 star. Coach Tressel and his staff developed those players to play at a higher level, and they won multiple national titles. You don't need stars, and you can't go by rankings and recruiting rankings, because at the end of the day, they don't necessarily matter all that much. Jimbo Fisher's last class at Florida State was in the top 5, and they proceeded to lose 5 games.
This is my thing. This is the thing I gotta understand. You guys act like these games weren't competitive. A lot of these games were competitive in coaching. Coaching lost a lot of these players' games. So, like, let's not act like Jackson State was out here blowing Bama's out by 30 every game. It wasn't like, no, that's not what it was. I mean, you're going down to the wire with Valleys and Delta States and Southerns and Alcorns. Like, let's not play, man. Like, so you guys act, and for the Jackson State fans talking about, oh, we would have did better against Southeast Louisiana. I highly doubt it. But I think you probably would have put up a better fight, but you still would have lost at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But then y'all would have the same as every other person in the SWAC talking about beating y'all. You would have a whole bunch of moral victories, because you know y'all good with a moral victory, because y'all lost to ULM, and that's been a moral victory since that. Oh, yeah, but nobody competed like we did. Man, miss me with that crap. Miss me with it. Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Hey, Scotty, Mr. Hemmingway. Enjoying the show. This is Ron from Birmingham, and I'm fan. First thing I want to do is I want to thank the young man for FAMU. I was glad to hear him talk, and I would love to have him try for the Birmingham Stallions here when the USFA come in the spring. But I wanted to piggyback on something that Scotty was talking about today with these Jackson State fans calling in, hating on Akil Glass. And I think I just want to ask this question. If you switch the quarterbacks, if you put Akil Glass on Jackson State team, do they have the same record? And if you put Shador on A&M team, does A&M still end up 7-3? What y'all think about that? Hello?
I'll wait on this.
If Shador was at Alabama A&M with that raggedy defense, I would say no.
Okay. So, and if you put Akil Glass at Jackson State, is the record the same, or do they even win the game in Louisiana?
Yes.
Okay. If you put Trickleman at Jackson State.
I mean, Akil Glass obviously had better statistics. This is not even a major argument. You know, just people thinking with their emotions or whatever. Shador is going to be a phenomenal QB. He's still a freshman. He's going into his second year. He's going to be better next year. Akil is a better pocket passer than Shador right now. I think that Shador is a better athlete, but Jackson State had a phenomenal defense that contributed tremendously to Jackson State's success this year. You take Houston off of that squad, I think that Shador's record would be
a lot different. A lot different. To me, he's the most.
So that's that. This is not an argument. Akil Glass deserved the award. He's a senior. He's got more experience. He's a better passer right now, just a better player right now. But I think Shador is going to be, before it's all said and done, going to rewrite the SWAC record books. I think he's going to be great.
I can agree with that. And also, just to back up Scotty too, Scotty has been saying all year about the level of competition in the SWAC. And sometimes we get in our bubble. I'm a SWAC guy too. I went down on the end, I'm a band head. So, I'm all SWAC. But Scotty been saying all year, we're in this bubble and we kind of think more of ourselves than we ought to. And then when FAMU goes to the playoff game, and FAMU, in my opinion, if anybody would ask me, I think FAMU is a better complete team than Jackson State. And I think it just goes to what Scotty said. When we get in that environment and then we get an opportunity to prove ourselves, everything he's been saying all year come to fruition. And then people be like, acting like it ain't never been said before.
Well,
but, so I just think that we got to get out of our feelings and that we got to really evaluate ourselves. And I also say this, I don't see a big difference in talent. So it has to be scheme and coaching. It can't be that big of a difference in talent. So it has to be something else. What do y'all think the something else is?
Schemes and coaching, bro. That's it. That's the only thing that's ever. You do not have to be phenomenal from an offensive scheme. If you watch North Dakota, even during the Carson Wentz days, North Dakota State, they were very elementary with their approach to their games. They were just so huge and strong, and they executed every freaking play. That's it. It wasn't anything difficult or anything really extravagant. They just played well with a phenomenal QB and good skill people around the board. It's not rocket science. FAMU could have played a much better game on Saturday. Catch passes, the passes that are thrown, and run the freaking ball, and we are in that game. Don't give up special teams touchdowns. Don't just stuff like that. And we're more than capable, and that's just a part of the learning process. I remember when LeBron and them just had to learn how to win. Now that he figured it out, he's tough. Every great team. We'll see. We'll see.
I appreciate the call, Mr. Reese. All right, taking the last 3 callers right here. Last 3 callers. Hey, caller, you loud, talk to me.
Hey, how y'all doing, man? I was listening at the guy talking about Florida A&M. I don't want to sound like I'm a Florida A&M hater, because I do like Bishop Bunny, but I have to take you back to the beginning when Florida A&M came into the SWAC. They pretty much opened up that East for you guys to win. I mean, they took the team out of there that was 7-time East Division champions and moved them to the West. They didn't move the 5th or 6th team in that division. They moved the best team to the West. So they left that side, and for Florida A&M, they rolled out the red carpet for you. But what happened was Jackson State hired Deion Sanders. And after they hired Deion Sanders, now you back in the same situation you was with A&T, with North Carolina A&T.
But we beat A&T, so what are you talking about?
I understand you guys lost this game to Southeastern. But Southeastern was the best team that you could have played that was in the playoffs.
I disagree.
The worst defense. But you didn't even exploit that. And your coach, Coach Simmons, I agree with you. He's a good young coach. Maybe he let his coordinators do too much in that game. Maybe he turned over the rings to him a little too much in that game. Because if like you said, if you'd have ran the ball, you'd have had a better chance of winning the game. But if you go back and look, if they was looking at film on that game, they would have to go back and look at the teams that actually beat Southeastern. I'm 20 miles from Southeastern. All right. Southeastern coach used to be the head coach of Tulane, Coach Cefalo. Now, where he went to after Tulane, I don't know, but he ended up at Southeastern. But he was a winning coach at Tulane. Every time they come down between, I hate to put it like this, between a white coach and a black coach on the field, it's the schemes. It's the scheme of the game. We used to playing SWAC ball, but once they get out of SWAC ball, they seem to leave their coaching knowledge at home.
I want to politely kind of like disagree.
Hold on, Coach Pep. Hold on, Coach Pep. You want to respond? Hold on, Coach Pep. You want to respond? Hold on, Coach Pep.
Over there.
Coach Pep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kofi, go ahead. He wants to respond. Go ahead.
All right. So I want to open up by first saying, obviously I do disagree a lot with what you're saying, because you do sound like a hater, but that's okay. I get it. Alcorn was not going to beat FAMU this year. They just didn't have the talent. It wouldn't have mattered if they had stayed in the East. They would have finished where they finished. They showed their deficiencies. They've been inconsistent all year long. This is not a white or black thing. This comes down to execution. FAMU has a national title. Billy Joe took us to the semis. So black and white have nothing to do with it. What it does have to do with is, obviously understanding what your strengths are and then going out there and playing to your strengths. There was no athletic difference between Southeastern Louisiana. Now, I know people saw all of that stuff happen with, with their scores and like, oh, they don't play defense, but they do have athletes. And sometimes athletes, in terms of your scheme, depending on how you're running or what you're running, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to score a whole bunch of points on a defense that is athletic and used to running all over the place. I think you just have to do what you normally do. We scored over 40 points only one time this year, and that was the Florida Classic, and that was largely because the defense scored 2 touchdowns. So getting into a shootout was not going to be an option for us, and it was never going to be about us, necessarily outscoring this game. If we were going to win, we were going to have to hold on to the ball, do ball control, and stop doing stupid stuff. Like I said, we gave up 2 special teams, just blunders that gave them 14 points. And to me, that's a major difference in the ball game. And we just didn't really run the ball or try to establish the run the way that we needed to in order to maintain the tempo of the game. And that's where we lost it. But what I will say is,
be honest with you,
FAMU's going to be a better team as a result.
Jackson State would have did.
Go ahead.
To be honest with you, Jackson State, like most of these callers are calling and saying, they would have had they would have did much better than you guys. Because Jackson State, they got athletes. They don't have one here, one there, one. They got athletes everywhere.
Where?
You guys,
Where? Name them. Name them. Name them. Name them.
Yeah, Bishop Bunny.
Name them. Listen. Hold up. Wait. No. I'm not gonna let you rock with that. I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you rock with that. All you have is a front 7. All they have is a front 7. Southeast Louisiana is a spread team. All right. So tell me how you're going to cover 5 wide receivers when you don't have 5 DBs that can cover them. Explain that to me, Coach Pep. Now, the only thing you're betting on, the only thing you're betting on is James Houston getting home. That's all you're betting on. But Southeast Louisiana has 4 all-conference offensive linemen and 1 left tackle that's all-American. What are we talking about right now?
What do Jackson State do? They get home. You're exactly right. They get home. And what do Florida A&M do? They run Bishop Bunny. They didn't do none of that. Jackson State is not going to get off what they do. That's what they do. They blitz the quarterback. If they get burnt, they still blitzing. They blitzing. They're not going to get off their game plan because what's going on elsewhere. But Florida A&M, they came there with a game plan and they got off of it.
Coach Pep. You're a coach, but you sound like you're a rookie, right? Because you're talking about 2 different teams that run 2 different defensive schemes. Jackson State is a blitz first team. They've always been that all year. FAMU is not a blitz first team. So why would they go heavy blitz when that's not their scheme? And if what got them there was rushing 4 down, now I would agree with you. They should have mixed it up. I said that from the beginning. You can't just show Cole Kelly one thing and go. But if you're doing the same thing, Jackson State is the king of that. They're going to show you one thing and Cole Kelly is going to eat that up. All they do is blitz and go man. That's it. You don't think Cole Kelly's seen that shit before? You don't think? Listen, all Jackson State can bet on is that James Houston gets home. FAMU was betting on Isaiah Land getting home. He never got there. Jackson State is going to bet that James Houston gets on, and I would believe he'll get home more than Isaiah Land, but he wouldn't distract Southeast Louisiana as much as you think he would have.
And let me just say that our defensive attack. Let me say this. Our defensive attack is more than Isaiah Land. I know he gets the headlines because he got the sacks. But Savion is a beast. General Hunt is a beast. We're not one-dimensional in that department, but I think as they diversify the portfolio, I don't think you're going to see the same thing. But, it is what it is. We lost the game, and we're going to learn from it and grow. And we'll see y'all in Miami.
You lost the game, and the thing about it is that the teams that you play, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, Texas Southern and all them schools, they really didn't have good. They really didn't have good teams, man.
Coach
That's
Pat,
how your defense
Jackson
got that high rating.
Jackson State played the same teams. What are you talking about?
We didn't play Texas Southern, by the way.
Yeah,
So,
Jackson State played the same
Jackson State
teams.
played two teams with winning records. All their teams had losing records.
Coach Pep, shut the hell up, bro. Coach Pep. Southern took them down to 5 minutes left with a losing record. What are you fucking talking about?
I mean, Jackson State did play Alcorn. They had a winning record.
Hey, caller, you live. Talk to me.
Hey, enjoy the show, man. Hey, I'm not trying to sound like a racist or anything, but you black people.
You stupid. Man.
Like, come on, dude. If that wasn't low key hate, I don't know what it really wasn't. Low key, it was just straight out hate. He just came out. FAMU. Bottom line, what I heard on that call, FAMU ain't shit, and Jackson State is the shit. So he just should have said that, and he could have hung up. But anyway, from my perspective, FAMU will level up going forward because they know now that, okay, the assignment isn't to be the best in the SWAC, right? So when we beat Valley by 4, okay, we missed the assignment, right? Because you've seen where we should be. We've seen that, okay, our preparation for the playoffs and our schemes and our coaching for the playoffs have to level up. So I think we're going to grow from this, but you got to be in it to understand. If you're not playing in the playoffs, and hell, if you ain't getting your hat handed to you and thinking you the best,
bruh,
absolutely. And then bottom line, you not gonna level up. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead on.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, back when I was a little boy, I used to play, my childhood friends and my cousins in checkers, and I would whoop their ass, right? But then my grandma was like, "Hey, son, come on over. Let's line it up. Let's play." Man, I played my grandma. She was double jumping me, triple jumping me, quadruple jumping me. I was going into plays left and right. Same thing with my grandpa. But, I mean, they beat me time and time and time again. But I learned from those losses. Exactly. So what I'm saying is, you learn when you start playing against better quality competition. And that's what we need to do. We just need to level up and step up and do what we got to do. All right, next.
Hey, appreciate the call.
Yeah, no. Oh, okay. Enjoy the show.
Yes, sir.
Last one. Let me see. Who was there? Let me see. 7848. Go ahead, Marquise. You live. Talk to us.
Hey, how's it going?
What's good?
How's it going?
Going well. You're the last caller. Talk to me.
Okay, listen. I got quite a
Turn
few
your background down.
topics.
Turn your background down.
First, Mr. Ford called in. He said something about when FAMU had a team back in the day where they could score quickly, and they didn't have a running game or passing attack. Now, Scotty, you said earlier this year that Jackson State didn't need a running game because they can pass. So do you still feel that way? You think that Jackson State can win and they don't have a running game?
Yeah.
But Mr. Ford said that FAMU back in the day didn't have a passing game. But you said that FAMU of Jackson State didn't need a running game.
What? Listen, I'm new to the SWAC, and I mean I'm new to HBCU football, but I know Billy Joe.
No. What I'm saying, you said earlier this year, you said that Jackson State really didn't need a running game because they could beat you.
That's true. They don't need it. It's the same way Southeast Louisiana gets down. They don't have to run on you. They can just throw the ball like in small chunks. It's like a run play.
And they can take those risks because Jackson State's defense is so good that a lot of people just have difficulty scoring. But the kryptonite that Jackson State defense is running the ball. Texas Southern did it. FAMU did it and stopped. Southern did it. So,
and Mr. And Mr. Kofi, I got another question for you. Were they giving Mississippi Valley coach Dancy another extension coming up in the new year? Do you think things will improve for his athletic department? You think he'll get a new feel over there? The field will get better. Or they get some more funding and get some more.
I think Dion said that he would assist. The reality is, Valley's resources are limited, so they're gonna have to hire a firm or a professional fundraising firm to get out there and gather those resources. But I fully expect them to do something about that field, because when you look at it, the field is not only unsafe for our athletes, it's unsafe for their athletes as well. Eventually somebody's going to get hurt. So I fully expect them to upgrade it and upgrade the facilities as much as they can. But it's time for the Delta Devil Nation to step up and do something, because you can't keep relying.
Scotty, I got another thing for you. I know you say you don't like recycling in the SWAC, and I think you said a couple of weeks on another show that the SWAC coaches wasn't all that great or whatever to that nature. But there's one. Don't you agree that you can be one coach could be at one school and not do so well, and then go to another school and turn the program around and do just as well? Because I think in the SEC, there's been some recycling. Didn't Steve Spurrier leave Florida and go to South Carolina? And then before that, Will Muschamp was at Florida and then went to South Carolina. So you don't think that a coach could do horrible at Grambling and then go to maybe UAPB and turn the program around?
Now, if I'm being, am I frozen? I look frozen.
It looked like you're frozen, but let me jump on this Muschamp. The University of South Carolina hired Muschamp, and how did that work out for them?
It didn't.
That's my point. All right. Spurrier is a phenomenon. Spurrier is a phenomenon, and he's a great
school and not do that well, but go to another one and turn it around.
Yeah, Spurrier is a phenomenon. Spurrier had the Bandits. Spurrier did it at Duke. If you can do it at Duke, you can do it anywhere. The reality is, at the University of South Carolina, you're only going to be able to compete for a SEC East championship 1 out of every 8 to 9 years. Is that what you want? So I mean, Muschamp, no. I would take a chance on a retread like Spurrier. Just like I would take a chance if Saban decided he wanted to leave the University of Alabama and he wanted to go to another school, he could. He could retread all day. I'll take Saban. I'll take Harbaugh. I'll take Urban Meyer. I'll take him.
Okay, so listen. So let me say something on the SWAC aspect, because for me, the only retread coach I would take from the SWAC is a Coach Dancy, because he's done a lot with a little. And I would actually give, as much as I go hard on Fobbs, I would actually give Fobbs another chance at a UAPB, because I mean, he's built a championship team at Grambling. He's built it. I mean, he was the head coach of it. He did the back-to-back with Kincaid and Celebration Bowl wins. So I would give Fobbs another chance if it was like a UAPB or if Dancy left and he went to Valley, something like that. I would give Fobbs another chance at that. But I'm just not a big fan of just keep constantly doing that, because you need some type of, Anna McNair. I'll do that with a Frank McNair in a heartbeat. But just coaches that have a championship, have championship pedigree, like. You know what I'm saying? But if we're being honest, a lot of people say Jay Hobson built that team that Alcorn now has. You know what I'm saying? So,
but I think a lot of people also look at the retread.
You said earlier, it doesn't matter how many 5-star, 4-stars you get. At the end of the day, those players got to play the game.
Absolutely. But going back to this whole I think a lot of people look at the retread thing of, okay, I'm taking your guy and I'm weakening a program in my conference. So they're looking at it also possibly from a strategic standpoint. But if I've got Kevin Sumlin on the line and he's willing to come in for what we got, I'm taking Kevin Sumlin.
Okay, appreciate it. Enjoyed the show.
Hey, no problem. Thank you so much. Hey, woo. All right, cool. So, you still got an ONG this Wednesday, or y'all done?
No, we got ONG. We got to talk about this. We need therapy. We gonna be talking about this.
Oh man,
we're gonna talk about this. We got the volleyball team that won the SWAC, who's going to be playing the University of Florida. So we're gonna be talking about that. And we got basketball, so we'll be going into that, and we'll be transitioning into our spring sports as well as some NFL football stuff. As people like to talk about that as well. So
yeah, so if you like to get on the call line. If you like to get on the call line with the FAMU and Rattlers and get your prayers up for all the turmoil they've been through this past weekend, you know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and do that and go ahead and shout and praise and go over to ONG and give them some. Hey. Go ahead and knock that out. All right. So listen, guys, appreciate Mr. Kofi for always checking in with us. We got to figure out a way to keep this going in the off season. We'll figure out. We'll talk offline and see what we can do to keep this going.
Oh yeah, man, we're gonna make it happen, man. We got stuff to do. We got the Super Bowl coming up, man. We got the Celebration Bowl.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a whole bunch of people there, man. We can go ahead and make a trip on up there, make that happen.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. We'll see. We may. I mean, I'm in Atlanta anyway.
Oh,
it's nothing for me. But yeah, man. So appreciate Mr. Kofi for stopping by. You take you be good and be easy. All right.
Yes, sir, man. Love you, man. We'll talk soon.
Too easy. All right, guys. Listen, on Wednesday. Oh, wrong button. On Wednesday, roundtable. All right. Listen, I am still in talks with CFL to get him onto the show. So that is still up in the air. So no promises. All right. No promises. He does have a crazy work schedule. So no promises. But me and Blue gonna be here for you for the SWAC championship. And we're gonna try to get some some good guests in for you. Oh, but Mr. Perry. All right, Perry White is gonna be on that show on this Wednesday. I just confirmed that with him today, and we're trying to get somebody else. Why is Scotty so disrespectful to our fans? Hey, Wakanda Jr., I'm not disrespectful to your fans. Your fans are first disrespectful to me, okay? Why you being weird to me, okay? So that's the real question, Wakanda Jr. All right, relax, boy. Anyway, so on Wednesday, doing that, and Friday, off script picks, and Saturday, SWAC championship, right? And you know who's streaming it. You know who's streaming it. He said, why are you disrespectful to the fans? That's what he said. Why is Scotty disrespectful to the fans? That's what he just said. I know how to read. Well, he just said that to me. Did he not? Why is Scotty so disrespectful to the fans? All right. That's what he said. Okay. I didn't say that. He said it. See, he know what he said. All right. So come on, man. But anyway, yeah, listen, I'm from Maryland, so you know how I get down. I'm always with the jokes. I stay strapped. All right. If you coming in here, you better come correct. After hours number. All right, that is the after hours number. Hit me up on that. For any ideas for the show, anything I can do better, anything I can change. I am open to critiques and criticism. I am an open book. I do not mind being critiqued, but I will check you if you do it on my phone line. If you do it offline, we can have a happy conversation about it. But you try to check me on my phone line, I'm gonna chin check you. All right, on the phone. All right. So yeah, so tune in Wednesday. I don't think I'm gonna have a show tomorrow. Nope, no show tomorrow. So hey guys, until next time, you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna holla. God bless.